Hey y'all, it's your girl Barbie J here, and we are talking about something new. A few of you asked me to check out Our Kind of People, which is on Fox TV station. And so today was the first night, and I think this gonna be a pretty good show, but give me another week or two to make sure. And this show is it directed by Lee Daniels? Lee Daniels as director, because he was on a talk show the other night and I heard him talking about it. But then you know how all the comments and stuff, all the information about who's directing and stuff, all that information rolls up and stuff. I saw Tasha Smith's name. Now, if this is the same Tasha Smith I'm thinking about, one minute it says she was executive producer, one of the executive producers, because there were several, and then I saw directed by. And I'm loving this that some of these actors are getting into directing and stuff. So that was cool. And then now, and this show is it's a fun show. That Lee Daniels said it was a fun show, and it was based on that book written by Karen Gist, Our Kind of People. And what else? Well, let's see. It's about, black wealthy people in Martha's Vineyard. That's our little vacation destination. I've been there several times, hanging out there. And it's a beautiful place. Oak Bluffs is all that and then some. You hear about people like Obama always out there and stuff, or white parties. No, the white parties be in the Hamptons. Let me not mix it up. But anyway, so that's what it's all about. I'm gonna name some of the people who are in it. Those are the big time names that I know about. That I'm gonna name, like Yaya DaCosta. I remember her in Next Top Model with Tyra Banks. I remember her coming in like second or third or something like that. And then she's been acting and getting gigs, which is wonderful because she's on that. She's a nurse on the Chicago Med, so I don't know if she's gonna be doing both parts or whatever. She got that, and she plays Angela Vaughn. And then we got her. She did All My Children before with Debbie Morgan, and Debbie Morgan's back in this now as her aunt Patrice Williams, which was her mom's sister. And they showed that her mom passed. Her mom passed, so which is Patrice's sister. Anyway, who else? They got fine Morris Chestnut is fine. Sell. Oh my God, as Raymond DuPont. He's such a fine dark chocolate of a man, I tell you. And who else? He's Raymond DuPont. Then there's his wife, Leah DuPont. And they have two children. What's that? Lauren. She acts like a little spoiled little brat. She is. And the son's name is Quincy, and he acts like a little playboy, seem like. And then we find out, I think his daughter is a lesbian, might be. So we're going to see how this plays out. But then there's Joe Morton. That delegate playing Daddy Franklin. And we all know who Joe Morton is. Let's just talk about the last major part he played that everybody's going crazy. Daddy Pope in Scandal. I loved him in that show. I tell you, I loved him. So this is season 1, episode 1, Reparations, okay, for Our Kind of People. And before we get started, I'm going to shout out everybody in my comment section and all my subscribers. I hope you'll stick with me through this, especially those of you who asked me to review it. So I'm here reviewing it and trying to give you a quick recap. I'm just going to read off some of the notes that I had, that I saw and stuff going by. And then we'll get into it more and more each week. So we'll see how that goes. But I feel like I missed something. I don't know. But so it started off with them driving down. That's Angela, Patrice, and Angela's daughter Nikki. They driving down to, I guess, Martha's Vineyard. The mother left them a house somewhere or something like that. Wait, before I get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, let's do that right now. Let's get that part out the way. That's right, because I'm always thinking my subscribers, but I would like for you to subscribe to my channel right now if you haven't subscribed yet. Thank you very kindly. And I would like for you to like the video, and I would like for you to comment below and tell me what you think, okay? Let's see if this is worth me reviewing each week. Okay, what else happened? Okay, so now they're driving down, they get to Martha's Vineyard and stuff. They're hanging out on the beach. They see the new house. I mean, the it's a rooming house, a boarding house that the mother left her, or something like that. I don't know how she left her, but we do learn later on that Leah's family owned it. They said that used to own it. So this is gonna get interesting. And so then we see Morris Chestnut and his wife and their two kids. And then you meet his mom, the mother-in-law, who seemed to be a troublemaker too. She didn't want to be pushing Leah to do stuff, but then she be pushing Leah's buttons too. And Leah was like, I gave her 2 grandkids and she still treat me like this, you know. So they talking about this big party that Leah's supposed to help the mother-in-law with, and it's their party that they're giving, and Angela ends up showing up to that party, and she has her daughter with her, and she's telling her daughter about she's there trying to create generational wealth for her and stuff, you know, and keep money flowing, because she has her own business. It seems like Eve's Crown, so she do hair and stuff and hair care, and I think she does a vlog as well about how to take care of your hair and conditioners and all of that stuff. We learn that. So, and then we also learn, as they have these flashbacks throughout the show, we learn that she doesn't know who her daddy is, and her mother went to her grave with that story. And you know, at the party, her daughter meets Quincy, Raymond's son, and then his rude daughter, what's her name, Lauren. And then there was another girl there, and the girl seemed like she was really cool and invited her to a party. Invited Nikki to a party, so Nikki said, I'll see you, something like that. So at the party, at the same party that they're at, Angela she goes up to meet who the host of the party are, which is Leah and Raymond. And she talks to them. Then she tries to give a donation or something. It's only $185 or something. And, you know, Leah looks down her nose at her and stuff, you know, turns her little nose up. Like, that was it. So, you know, Angela's learning. She got to learn the way to do things out there and see how things are going, you know. And in the meantime, she's over there talking to her aunt, and she breaks her heel on her shoe. And here come fine, dark, chocolate Lance Gross and his fine self as Tyreek. And he had been eyeing her the whole night anyway. So he's there to catch her, you know. But one thing I noticed is when she was talking to Leah, when Angela was talking to Leah and Raymond, she was very passionate about this hair stuff. She was passionate about it, her crown, and she makes her own conditioner and all that stuff. Said her mother taught her how to do it. So this is a big deal. Seems like they should have some type of product line, if you ask me. So Tariq catches her and everything, and Angela seems to no, not Angela, Raymond's wife. Her father is Teddy Franklin. So what is Angela's name? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up because this is new. Leah's father is Teddy Franklin, and her name is Leah Franklin DuPont, because that's Raymond's last name, Raymond DuPont. So she's DuPont. So when he started talking, though, he was like, she was calling him a criminal and stuff, but he did that whole daddy pope thing, had me just wrapped up in him. I just enjoy him and stuff. But I saw something on the screen that said Louis Franklin Jr. I gotta find out who that is. Maybe Louis Franklin Jr. is the person who started that company. So maybe that was his father or something like that. So anyway, so Angie, while they're home talking about the night before, she gets an invite to a party that night. And in the box, when she opened it, was a pair of shoes. So you know it's from Tariq. I said, he just met her and he buying her shoes, you know. He was saying something like, so let's just go. He's at the party. She shows up at the party, and she spots him and he spots her, and he looks down at her feet, but she had on her own shoes. In the meantime, her daughter went to meet those other people at the peer party that they were talking about. And this one girl slipped something in her to a pocketbook. I said, Lord Jesus, she just got there and they putting drugs and stuff in her bed. What you doing? I don't know what happened, but next thing you see that girl writing lies on the poster of a picture of the DuPonts, the husband, the wife, and the kids, and she write lies. And we find out that she was girlfriends with Lauren, their daughter, and she jumped off the boat or something. She jumped and killed herself, and the girl was yelling and screaming, and that's when Nikki heard the screaming and went up there to be with her, and to see what was going on, and it was just crazy. And the next thing you know, that they're calling their parents to come and get them. But before Angela got her call, she was talking to Tariq, and she finds out, she's like, "Do you always send people shoes and stuff?" He said, "No." He said, "No, I don't." She said, "What, you trying to be my fairy godfather?" And he said, "Well, somebody got to get you ready for the ball." And they start kissing and stuff. But she told him she could buy her own damn shoes. She don't need him to buy her. She having some leopard print numbers. Anyway, her phone rings and it's her daughter. She gets there and finds out what happened. And then the other girl, Nikki tells them that Lauren was the last one to saw the girl before she jumped. Lauren's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't with her. I wasn't with her." And then that Leah's there saying what's going on with her daughter, and we find out little Lauren is a little liar. She's a little liar. That's what we learn. And then we find out that uh they said no, she's drunk. She was drinking. And she's like, "My daughter doesn't drink." Angela's like, "My daughter doesn't drink." Next thing you know, we find out she had been drinking, underage drinking, and that they almost arrested her. And she had to tell her, "I don't have the right skin color or bank account to get you out of any trouble. So don't be doing all that mess." And she told her daughter started mouthing off at her. And she said, "Look, Auntie jumped in and said, 'Yo, check yourself, Missy.'" And then she grounded the girl. Then they went the next day to attend some club meeting, and she wanted this other girl. Who's the girl that plays? Oh my God, I know her from Being Mary Jane. She was the sister to Gabrielle Union. She was Gabrielle Union's little sister, the big girl. I forgot her name, but I see she's in this show as well. I don't know what part she really plays, but she's been helping. She seems to be friends with Angela. So anyway, she nominated her to be part of the club or something like that, and they said, "Well, we don't know anything about you. We're gonna be checking you out." And so the daughter's sitting there rolling her eyes and stuff, don't want to be there. And Angela stands up and introduces herself and talks and says stuff about her mother, which is a lie, and her daughter was mad at her about that. So they wanted to have a mother-daughter fashion show. And she said, "Oh, fashion is my thing. I volunteer to help with the fashion." And she said, Leah pointed to somebody else and said, "Why don't you help us?" And boy, you should have saw Angela's face was like, "Okay." She said, "You get snacks." She said, "Oh, you want me to do snacks? You want me to do snacks?" She said, "Yeah, it's good to do snacks or something like that. We help out any way we can." So she's like, "Fine." So Raymond's mother goes and checks her out because they told her, "We're going to be checking you because we don't know who you are, so be careful," or something like that. Raymond's mother checks into her, and her name is Olivia. Raymond's mother's name is Olivia. She checks into her, and she finds out that she's a little disruptor like her family was and her mother was and all that stuff. And what she probably finding out, I don't know what's happening. We're going to find out all the details later. But she asked Leah to take care of it. She said, "Or should I ask your father to do it?" So Leah's like, "I guess she'll take care of it." So you see them at the fashion show is here, and the person who's supposed to be doing the hair didn't show up supposedly. So Angela stepped in with her Eve's crown and was hooking up everybody's hair and everything and making them look fabulous. And Leah really didn't like that. Leah was like, "What are you doing? We have a professional stylist." She said, "Well, she didn't seem to come. I ain't gonna let you down. That's what we do. We jump in and help each other, right?" And I was thinking for a minute that she got rid of the stylist. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's happening yet. But we gonna find out. If anybody has any information, or or know something, you let me know, because maybe I missed something. And then Nikki tries to talk to Raymond's daughter after the fashion show and tell her that she knows about her, because what that girl had put into her bag was her cell phone, and I guess it didn't have a code or a lock on it. So when she turned it on, she saw Lauren and that girl who killed herself kissing and stuff like that. So that's how we learn that Lauren is a lesbian. Okay. So there ain't nothing wrong with that, but that's what it is. But Lauren acts like something's wrong. You could see it because she's like, "What are you talking about? Why are you showing me that? What do you want to do with it? You better not say nothing about it." And that's when her mother walks up. "What's going on here?" And she's like, "I don't know. She keeps bothering me." Stop, little liar. Little liar. That's probably why her girlfriend wrote lies on there, on that picture of them. Because she lied straight up and she lies to her family and everything, I guess. So she was like, "What is going on?" That's when Angela comes over and said, "Look, I helped you out and I saved your fashion show and you haven't apologized to me for anything. And she going all in, and Leah looks over at Olivia, her mother-in-law, and her mother-in-law gives her the nod, and she goes in on her and tells her mother was a disruptor, was a problem, and this, and she used to sell drugs or something like that, and she got arrested and all this stuff in front of everybody, and she started crying and saying, "It's not true, it's not true," So that's what happened with that, in front of everybody. And what happened? Leah then feeling empowered by doing that. She go in there and tell her father that she's taking over the business and he's just going to retire because, she is the heir and she's the one who's next in line or something like that. And so she got rid of him because, earlier she was calling him a thief and a crook or whatever. Then Angie and her daughter and what's her name? The auntie, Patrice, they looking through the boxes. They were able to get copies of the records for the arrest, her mother's arrest, and she got 1 day to look through them, and they're looking through the papers and stuff trying to find something, and they find a videotape, and the videotape shows her mother talking to her father, and the father is Daddy Pope. Not Daddy Pope, let me say that, Daddy Franklin, which is also Leah's father. So it looks like her and Leah might be half sisters. We gonna find out because then Angela went to get the wig that Leah was wearing in the fashion show. She went to pick it up and stuff, and the bottom line is she went in there and they had a little conversation. They were talking, and she's like, "I'm really not in the business of tearing women down. I'm really into building them up, And she was like, "Look, we two sides of a coin." And she's like, "Two different sides of a coin." She's like, "Why? Because of our bank accounts?" It was all of that. And then they showed the flashback of that little girl in the car saying, "Daddy, who's that girl?" It's raining outside, and Angie had ran out when she was a little girl when she saw her father leaving, and she ran behind him, and he had left his daughter in the car, and she was like, "Daddy, who that little girl?" And he said, "Nobody you need to know, Leah." So that was Leah in the car. So they might be sisters because she was getting that flashback and remembering stuff. So she gets home, checked that wig for Leah's hair, and there was strands in it, and I guess she gonna go get her a DNA to find out if they are sisters. And she said to her, and she always talks to her mother, and she said, we gotta secure the crown, Mama. We gotta secure the crown. So that's how it went off. It was pretty cool, the show. I liked everything so far, thus far. Not that I liked it, because I liked the show and where it's going and stuff, but it was very disappointing to see, us black people tearing down each other and stuff like that. So I never do like that. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about the show. Let me know if I missed anything. This your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.